Okay, so I was in this video class last year. I always start off my poetry with the introduction. I was in a video class, had to do a final project, ended up filming a project, didn't have any sound, so I wrote a poem for it. It's called Covergirl. I want to be like these girls in these magazines. They're one-dimensional with a 3D attitude, clear complexion, bodacious bod, and all they have to do is just stand there. Let the camera capture the curves and gloss the 8x11 so the world can drool over them with the turn of each page. I want to be like these girls in these magazines, the ones with the right mascara, the right blush, always know what to say. They don't rush into the conversation because they know the top 10 rules when communicating with their man. They smile and stare back at me, posing provocatively, and I wish I could just paste my head on their body because that's the only way I'll ever have a shape like that. I want to be like these girls in these magazines, wearing the latest fall trends with a Prada purse always on my arm. I want to live my life by the do's and don'ts when choosing a spring ensemble. I never want to wear white after Labor Day, and I want my hair to have that just woke up from a long night to remember type look. You know, like the one on page 11. I want to be like these girls in these magazines who don't have to put out to get a little TLC, but if they wanted to, they could just use the tips on page 13, 99 ways to please your man. Don't have one? Read page 239 and call me tomorrow. And if I could just be these girls in these magazines, my brimmable tear ducts would never should have dropped over boys claiming to be men, my paper-thin skin would never wrinkle, and my face frozen in place would never need to retouch this face. That could use a nose a little smaller, lips a little fuller, and lashes that could cut through glass. I have paper cuts from turning pages and cleaning out boxes of tissues from popular New Year's resolutions to the Christmas issues, coveting these cover girls hiding under the cover of Diamond Price Foundation, the wonders of Photoshop. And these paper cuts hurt all the more because they remind me that I am not paper. No matter how much I cut out these images, they will never be me. But I still clutch on to this magazine. I fall asleep with this magazine. I wake up with this magazine. I live my life by this magazine, but my life is not a magazine. I cannot be like these girls in these magazines. My body is three-dimensional. No matter how much I try, it'll never be flat and compact like the girl on page 117. The sun doesn't shine the perfect lighting to highlight my features, and sometimes my sex hair is my I just woke up from nightmare hair. I cannot be like these girls in these magazines, posted on pages, put up on pedestals in order to project someone else's vision, never having one of their own. Displayed on covers meant for a one-sided conversation where they never utter a word. All they do is just stand there. Let the camera capture the curves and gloss the 8x11 so the world can look at them at the turn of each page and they never get to look back. I cannot be like these girls in these magazines, having a story that ends once you flip to the next article, faces painted and bodies cropped beyond recognition. It's about time we realize that these are not girls in these magazines. These are vivisected visions of what they want us to be, whispers of what women once were, hollow versions of the confident, cocky, charismatic, gorgeous beings we could be if they would just let us be. But they attack what makes me me, and they attack what makes you you. And I was fighting for the next line of stitched together fiber, colored powders, and sticks of wax. How dare they tell me who to be, what to look like, and what to spend my paycheck on. I can no longer sit here and be brainwashed by perfect images of imperfect people thrown in my face to get me to reach into my wallet, so please, hand me the remote so I can change the channel, and while you're at it, throw away these magazines. Yeah, it's so weird, you know, back to host role. Okay, so the next student poet we're going to bring up, I've seen him perform at Voices. If you don't know what Voices is, it's the monthly spoken word event hosted by the Office of Black Student Affairs, which happens on, different campuses, mostly at Pomona, sometimes at Pitzer. So if you want to check that out next year, you know, that would be awesome every first Thursday of the month. So, like I said, this person has performed at Voices before. He's amazing. I love him. His style is so unique. So let's clap it up for Pablo.
Psychoneurosis. An inability to cope with the conditions of modern living. I saw you turn the corner wearing that petite blue scarf made lovingly by a peasant from Taiwan whose real name you don't know. Sometimes, on starless urban nights, your mind turns to his in a fit of commodified gratitude. It's unseasonably cold, and my hands can't stop shaking because, in a fit of self-consciousness, I recalled the last time I bought clothes, my hands pursing through the fabric 5 years ago. My bones ache with impish desire as I blot out all sound and unfazed, deliver a genteel smile, hoping it, too, is worthy of valued transnational exchange. I am trying to be serious with you. I toss the word anarchy around in casual conversation, demure, making sure to hint at pejorative use of concept. It's simply anarchic to insinuate that such autonomy could be universally applied with great success. Laughter. without giving away a distinct lack of knowledge of such things large-scale governance rests on. Me? I hardly know how to govern myself. I don't separate colors in the wash. I only brush my teeth once daily, not because it is a voluntary statement. I might coyly, on occasion, say, I like you, I think you're cute, to strangers whose taste in rhetoric or furniture I agree with. But for the most part, I find myself confronted increasingly with vivid nightmares of living in some dull structure assembled from some asymmetrical geometric shapes, carefully pasted together to give the impression of aesthetic conformity to future insecure young homeowners like myself, too tired at this point to consider making a tree or a boxcar or an empty water tower or nowhere at all my residence of choice. You looked so good in blue that I quickly panicked and thought of houses and almost quit the job I wished I'd had to spend my trust fund on a honeymoon in Taiwan. But then I'd be too poor for adulthood, which would just be blatant anarchy. Though your intentions are good, I'm not one to force a coy occasion, and maybe I should just go buy some clothes.